Welcome to episode number 7, and we're at control point Ansel on the Palmdale Cutoff heading northbound towards Mojave Yard. And I've got a coal train that is going from the West Elk Mine in Colorado to the Trona plant, and this train actually has to go to the Searles yard. So you need to get it into the Searles yard, and then it'll have to probably be split up between two of the yard tracks. One of the really cool things about this train is I found a video on YouTube of this actual train, and I recreated it in Run 8. So this is where the guy that made the video, that filmed it in real life, he saw the train at this Ansel siding, and then this is where he started filming all the way to Searles Yard. The name of the channel is Desert High Iron, and I'll put a link in the description to the actual real-life video that I based the train off of. Now we're over here at the Barstow Hump, and there's two cuts that have to be pulled out. This one right in front of us here that's tagged for LAJ, and this one right here all the way at the end, this track's full, and it's tagged for KNG, which is Kingman, Arizona. So this KNG cut needs to be put onto track 4, which is this track. And then the LAJ cut needs to be put on track 2 and the south departure yard, which is this track here. And these two units are going to be the rear DPU. We might end up using one, but I put these two on the rear of the Kingman train. And remember, that train's going to be going eastbound out of the departure yard. And then I put these two units on the front of the westbound LAJ train in the departure yard. And remember, if you want to play along, click the link in the description to my Google Drive, and I've got the world save files in there, so you can start right where I did at the Ansel siding. One other thing I want to bring up while we're looking at this coal train is it's currently in the Ansel siding, and I'm going to bring up the depot's train tracker map, and you can see on the map down here, we're starting at Ansel, which is right. Let me turn on the control points. So you can see Ansel right there, and we're heading northbound to Mojave Yard. We're going to go past Mojave Yard and then onto the Lone Pine branch, which is that one right there. But my question that I don't understand, and I'm hoping that if any of you guys are train experts, please let me know in the comments. So this train is coming from Colorado, so somewhere out here, West Elk Mine, but somewhere out here in Colorado. And it comes down through Vegas and to Daggett here. But what I'm wondering is, does it go on BNSF tracks through the desert here over to Mojave? Or does it go down this way, which is also, I think, shared tracks or also BNSF tracks, till it gets to the Palmdale Cutoff to Silverwood down here? And then does it back up and then go up this way? Because otherwise, why would it, if it was a WE West Elk Mine to Trona, how would it have gotten to Ansel? Like, why would it be over here at Ansel heading northbound? It means it would have had to come from down here. Or does it even run all the way to like West Colton and then they go back up Cajon this way? So I'm trying to figure out, it seems so out of the way. It doesn't seem like it makes sense, but maybe they have to do that. But I don't know. So let me know if you know the, true to life, what they do. Let me know in the comments. All right, our first job here is we got this loaded coal train sitting at the Ansel siding, just southwest of Mojave Yard, and I got a AI recrew him, and we're going to send him up to Mojave Yard. Well, he's going to go past Mojave Yard and on to the Lone Pine branch and heading over to Searles. Is it Searles or Searles yard on the way to Trona? If we take a look at our train, we got 103 loaded coal cars, and we got 4 units up front, and we've got 2 DPUs on the rear. All right, while he's on his way, let's take a look at our dispatch screen and see where he has to go. So Otto's got him routed right here, but I need to stop him before those BNSF crossovers, because then there's a manual switch that I have to throw that takes him onto the Lone Pine branch. Now I'm just going to turn auto off on the Mojave sub real quick for a minute so I can put this signal dark because I want him to stop at that signal. And while the coal train makes his way to that signal, let's jump over to Barstow to the Bull because we've got some more tracks filled up. The yardmaster's been sending more cars over the hump, and the track right here for Kingman, Arizona is completely full. So we got to get the trim locomotives fired up, and we're going to pull this cut out and move them over to a departure track. And also this track right here for LAJ is not completely full, but it's full enough to pull it as well. Because you don't want to be sending a train over the hump and then have the track fill up and then it gets stopped. Then I just got to flip this switch so we can grab the Kingman cars. Make sure that's the right track. Oh, I almost missed this one. I didn't realize that was yellow on the way out, but I got to make sure I flip that, otherwise we'll be going down the wrong track here. Oh, we're going 18. That's a little bit too fast through here. Before I do an AI recrew, let's just make sure that I got the tracks going, or the switches the right way. Then he'll go all the way here, and then that switch is thrown against him, so he'll stop down there. So that's perfect. right, I got to check on that coal train, and he's almost at the signal. The text is green, which means he's still moving. But yeah, there he is. So he's almost at the signal here where I want him to stop. But I'm going to actually give him a restricting. But I can't throw that hand throw until he goes through this signal. So there's his restricting. Now that he's cleared that last signal, I can jump ahead up here and then throw this switch. So this branch, this is the Lone Pine branch going off to the right. And now, because I just threw that switch, I can turn auto back on, and auto's not going to mess with his routing anymore. Now, while he's heading down the Lone Pine branch, I gotta jump ahead to Searles' yard just to make sure that the switches are lined correctly so that he'll come to a stop where I want him to. So he's gonna be coming through this tunnel from this side. Then he's gonna go through the tunnel and then into the Searles' yard here. So I want him to go straight through this switch, straight through that switch, because these are the 3 yard tracks on the right. And then that switch is thrown against him, so that's perfect. He'll stop at the end of this track, and then I can take over and split the train up onto the different yard tracks. Let's jump back over to the bowl at Barstow and see how that trim job's going. He's probably made it to the end. Yeah, he's down at the end. So I'll do a relinquish, and then I got to grab some power from the power pool and send it down here to grab this cut to pull it onto a departure track. Just got to make sure that the MU cables are connected. I'm just going to uncouple and pull them back a few feet, and then I'll have the AI crew take over. And while that crew's getting ready to go, let's get our switches lined up to get them over to that cut we just pulled. So we're back at the two bowl switchers, and I'm going to take control here and uncouple these so that we can hook on from the other side. And we can't forget to remove the EOT because we're going to be coupling over here in a minute. Now I can just save my camera position here, and then we'll go check on the train on the Lone Pine branch, our coal train. I really love the scenery out here on this Lone Pine branch, heading out to Trona. It's just so vast. I love the mountains way out in the distance, and especially like in the evening, you get awesome sunsets out here. Now I got control of these units, and I'm gonna just bring them down here at a couple. That San Bernardino, or that Barstow station over there looks pretty nice. I think they did a nice job on that one. All right, and now since the two units on the other side are already uncoupled, I'll just set this as lead unit, get the crew in there, and then they'll pull these into the receiving yard for me. Oh, you know what? There's two other things I forgot about that I got to take care of as soon as I do this. So he's going to be coming through here. Let's put him on track 4. And then I'm going to turn that blue so that auto doesn't route him back out to the other side. And while he's getting started, I can actually go down here and AI recrew this one. And then that way he kind of chases them. Once the track gets clear, he'll follow. Now, while he's moving, I got to make sure his switches are set correctly, and then I also need to flip a few switches back that I forgot about. Do I want to go back the same way? Oh, no, I can't. Oh, yeah, south departure yard. Let's just go back the same way. Oh, I can't? I'm not going to make it in time. All right, so we're going to go this way. Now he can get over there to track 4. And I realized I forgot to put this one back to green. Then I also got to jump over to that switch onto the... Oh, we got a train coming through here. Looks like a unit auto rack. I gotta flip this mainline switch back that we used to get onto the Trona branch. Actually, let's take a look and just see where that train is heading to the coal train, heading to Trona. Yeah, he's just right out in the middle of nowhere. All right, let's let him keep going, and let's jump back to Barstow. And now I got to get the trim locomotives to pull that cut for, I think it was LAJ. Now I need to make sure these guys are going to go the right way. Yeah, looks like they're making their... Yeah, so see how he had to wait till the track ahead got clear, but now he's making his way down the track. Yeah, this one here, LAJ, is what we need. So actually, I think the switches are lined up because it's just straight here. All the way straight through. Yeah, so that'll get him there. And then let me just make sure. Yeah, see, since I left this blue, he's just going to stop at the end, so that's perfect. Although I actually realized after the fact I kind of made a mistake because I grabbed these 4 units here thinking they'll end up being the lead units for this train, but this train's going east to Kingman, so actually the DPUs... Well, actually, we probably won't even need a maybe we'll just use one or two at the most to go east. So I'll probably just end up pulling 2 of them off and leaving 2 of them on there. I think that's what I'll do. And the other ones I'll use for something else. And I'm going to tell him to relinquish when he stops. And these guys are getting close, so we can actually... I'm going to do a relinquish also on this one because I'm going to take over and then couple to this cut, and then we'll get them pulling those out. And then while he's pulling them out, I will... because that's going to be another outbound train, so I'll grab some other power. Or I might use the 2... I got to think about it. I might use the 2 units from the 4 that are pulling the Kingman cut right now, or I might grab some other ones. We'll see. As soon as this guy leaves the cab, then I can hop in and take over. And there he goes in to get lunch, and now I'll take over. And I'll just isolate this one for now, just because it's going to be too much power, probably. Oh, you know what? I'm going the wrong way. There we go. I'm on the lead unit right now. I was thinking I wasn't. Let's actually hop in the driver's seat. And I know the switches are aligned properly to get him back to where he was before when he pulled the other cut, so I can just crew him up and let him go once we couple here. And while I'm here, I'll just tell him to relinquish when stopped. So when he gets all the way to the end down there, it'll be ready for me to jump in. Oh, I did it too soon because he was stopped. So it just relinquished. I gotta wait till he starts moving before I hit that. Now I can hit it. So this guy's all set. Let me check over here. This train should be at the end. And he is. So I think what I'll do is maybe leave these two on here for now. And I can always pull another one off later if needed. Oh, I'm struggling to... I have to do it. Yeah, there we go. Now I gotta figure out where I want to put these. I might actually just leave them right here. No, I'm gonna use these to grab the cut that's being moved at the moment. So track 4. Let's do that. Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably not gonna let me throw it until I get a little further, but if I leave it blue, then see, now I can do it. And then I can just recrew this guy. And then I'll send him down to grab the cut of LAJ cars to pull onto this departure yard. So he should have a clear, yeah, he's got a clear path. All right, so I can leave him, and let's see where this train is. This train might, oh, I was going to say if he's far enough, I'll tell him to stop. Because actually, I think I only need him to clear this switch in the back. So I might actually tell him to stop now. By the time he slows down, we should be good. I'll wait here for him to relinquish so I could pull off the COT while we're standing back here. I think, being that this was an AI train, maybe, because I noticed when they relinquish, they don't always set handbrakes on everything, I don't think, but probably because of this, maybe the computer knows this, we're on a steep grade downhill right here, so it probably puts them on. What was I just going to do? Just need to... Oh, I need to just release the train brake. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to back up. And that's going to do it for episode 7. So stay tuned for episode 8. We'll continue here where we left off, and we got to check on that Trona train.